So I think the main challenges for transition are range anxiety, which is again the same as you get with electric cars, and people need to understand how they use their boats to see whether it works for them at the moment. So I think looking to the future, the battery technologies are moving on apace, and so we will get greater range. We are already seeing greater range and duration for electric boats. The future for boats that need to go longer and faster, I think, will be a combination of electric drive and some kind of hydrogen fuel cell. So you'll be able to have a range extender that still uses electricity to drive the boat. So you still get all those advantages of silent running and low maintenance, but you can add on some additional storage capacity if you need to go longer distances. And again, coming back to how people really use their boats, I think you'll find that most of the time you don't go very far or for very long in your boat. You'll head out of the river, you'll go to a nice anchorage somewhere, have some lunch, motor around a little bit more and head home. So you might have a very long theoretical range on your boat, but how you actually use it is the critical thing. And the other challenge at the moment is probably cost. If you need to replace your engine, then going electric straight away makes sense because the upfront cost might be higher, but the running costs will be significantly lower. If you have an engine already in your boat that is going to last a long time, then the financial argument is a bit more difficult to make. But what you can do if you have a diesel engine is look to switch to something like HVO fuel, which has a huge reduction in carbon emissions and is essentially the same as diesel. So yeah, there is a concern, I think, around charging infrastructure. For some of the smaller electric outboards, then you can remove the battery and take it to a charging station, which is much the easiest thing to do. I think that the infrastructure requirements for clubs will be fairly minimal because the boats aren't used continually. We are talking to British Marine and also the Yacht Harbour Association about provision of charging facilities. There needs to be some work with industry understanding there will be a need for some high-speed charging stations for some of the bigger power boats, and those networks are being installed. So I think they're a little way behind what's happening with electric vehicles, but the infrastructure will be there to help you power your new electric boat. I think in terms of some of the myths around electric propulsion, there's the safety question around lithium-ion batteries and water. Most, if not all, marine-grade lithium-ion batteries are made with lithium iron phosphate chemistry, and that's a lot safer than most of the technologies you'll find in electric vehicles. So you can punch a hole in a battery like that and it generally won't catch fire or do any harm. So that's one of the myths. There's also the concern about supply of some of the materials, but I think the manufacturers, the reputable manufacturers, really have that under control now in terms of their supply chain. So buy from a reputable manufacturer. It's not something we would recommend you doing as a DIY project because of the safety aspects of charging, and make sure that you follow all the manufacturer's instructions. Well, I think there's a lot of appetite because people recognise the need to transition away from burning fossil fuels. There's also the advantage of lack of maintenance requirements for electric. Effectively, you've got one moving part in most electric drive systems, and just the silence and the ease of control that you get with electric. If you have an electric car already, you'll know that you have no problem with power and with acceleration with electric drive. So the only real challenge is having the capacity you need in order to get as far as you want. But some of that is about people understanding how they really use their boats and whether they do really plane at speed for great long distances, or whether they mostly, particularly if you're a club, say, and you've got a race course set, then mostly you're just sitting waiting for some action and occasionally going fast in the boat. And you'll find you use a lot less energy, a lot less fuel than you really think.